Welcome to the Mystical Matchmaker podcast. I'm Marla Martenson, a crystal-loving, tarot-slinging, matchmaker, author, and energy healer. I'm here to inspire you to heal the past, live in the moment, and put some magic and fun in finding your soulmate. This is a place where we talk about all things love, light, how to make your dreams come true, and awaken to your authentic self by consciously creating your reality. Hello and welcome. Welcome to August, you guys. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. I've been enjoying trying to find where they've got the Halloween decorations out already. It's just like a fun game. They come out earlier and earlier every year, but it's so funny because me and my friends always say Halloween is not a holiday, it's a lifestyle. So I don't know if you love Halloween as much as I do, but it's coming up. And I've got a very magical topic for you guys today and a magical guest. But first, I just want to read something inspirational from Louise Hay's Heart Thought to Treasury of Inner Wisdom. There is no death. We are on an endless journey through eternity. We have lifetime after lifetime. What we don't work out in one life, we will work out in another. Our spirit can never be taken from us, for it is the part of us that is eternal. No argument can take it from us. No loss of relationship can take it from us. No death can take it from us. Our spirit is the part of us that goes on forever. All the people we know who have left the planet are still here in pure essence and pure spirit. They always have been, they are now, and they always will be. It is true that we will not connect with their physical bodies again, but when we leave our bodies, our spirits will connect. There is no loss. There is no death. There is only a cycling and recycling of energies, a changing of form. When we connect with our spirits, we go beyond all petty things. Our understanding is so great. Our spirit, our soul, the very essence of who we are is always safe, secure, and alive. And so it is. I just love that, and I love to know that. So today's guest is going to talk a little bit about that and how we tie that into love, because I will tell you, one of the biggest questions I get, I do readings and I'll have people on the line, and sometimes we'll do readings for people, and they want to know, especially the women, they'll call in and say, is my love coming? Am I going to find somebody? Am I going to meet somebody? Will he call? Is he interested? So we're going to talk a little bit about that and how you can tap into your own guidance with Linda Deir. My guest today, Linda, she awakens every day with a passion for sharing what she's learned from being connected. In her book, her memoir, which is fantastic, called Guided, she shares the lessons from her spirit guides and angels so people can create a better life for themselves than they could have done on their own without struggle. Imagine having a relationship with your spirit guides, angels, and others who willingly listen to you without judgment, encourage you to follow your dreams, guide you towards your victories, see you through all your challenges and successes, and bring out the best to you, and always tell you the truth. So I'm going to bring on Linda right now. Hello, Linda.
Hello, Marla. That was great.
So
I liked your message.
Yeah.
I liked your message from Louise Hay. That was great, Marla.
Oh, thank you, Linda. Well, you guys, Linda is such an amazing friend, and I've had her on my YouTube show, and I've done coaching with her, and her husband Ray are phenomenal, and I can't wait for you to get to know her a little bit. We only have a short show, but we're going to pack as much as we can in. So, Linda, tell people just a little bit about your story and Guided, and then we will guide the listeners to how they can be guided in love.
Yeah, that's really, the soulmate part. I'll focus on that since that's what the show is about, Marla. But
Yes.
Guided is loaded with examples of soulmates throughout my life in different ways. And soulmates, the way I have experienced them, they are usually 3 to 5 year relationships. They don't usually last a lifetime. Now, what I have with Ray, there's 4 parts to Guided, and part 4 of Guided is where I meet Ray. And I miss it, but Ray catches it. When we first met, he felt that surge. He felt that pull. It's not something you chase. It's something that finds you. This is guidance as it's associated with soulmates. And I had been married twice before Ray and I met, and we were married from the time we met. We were married 10 months later. That's like unheard of. I was 51 and he was 52 when we met. There's that 52 year, by the way. When do you know about the 52 year, Marla?
I heard something about it, but tell everybody about that.
The 52 year is like your new deck, you know, and your playing cards. For playing cards, playing poker or whatever, there's 52 cards in the deck. There's no accident. By the way, the playing card deck was the original tarot deck.
Right.
Before they turned it into a game. They turned it into a game to disguise its true power. All right.
Right.
So there's 52 cards in a deck, and when that 52nd card is up, your life is your old life is over. A lot of times that's when people will check out. That's a defining time in a person's life. But if you don't check out, you evidently, your soul signed up to stay on for the long term here, longer than 52 years. And everything changes, nothing's ever the same. So going back to the soulmate, Ray and I, when we were connected, we were literally guided like 2 times in one day. I bumped into Ray. We were at the coffee shop and he was there, and we looked at each other, and there was that moment. I talk about that moment many times with the people I work with. And I ran. I was like, oh, my God, I don't need another relationship. I'd been through 2 marriages, and the last one was, I was done, Marla. And I told my guides, I said, listen, if I meet the right one, give me a sign.
Yeah.
And I met Ray on the 28th of February, 2004, and it was about 2 weeks later they showed up. Or 10 days later, they came through a phone call I had. I was talking to one of my girlfriends about, I met this guy, but he's married. I never went with married men. So Ray was not a contender. I was not letting him in, okay? He was married. That was my number 1 rule, no married guys. Okay, so through the phone, as I'm talking to my friend, comes a voice that tells me, like the old party lines.
Yeah.
Do you know the old, where you hear somebody talking
them
over your voice? Okay.
Yeah.
They came through the phone line, and they said, lose your rules. He's the one. And I dropped the phone. Oh, my God. I told them to give me a sign. I was done with this thing about picking my partners, okay? So they let me know, not only was that no accident that we bumped into each other twice the same day. I ran away the first time, and the second time, he cornered me in the gym, literally cornered me, okay? Marla, I had no place to go. Ray's a really sweet guy. I don't mean that he was, ridiculous, but it was obvious that this was going to continue in some form, all right? So it played out, and, when they told me that he's the one, it was like 4 days later, we made a connection that just, we've only been apart 2 nights since we've been together for 15 years.
Oh, my
2
gosh.
nights.
Wow.
Okay, Ray and I are together all the time. We work together. We do everything together, 24/7, 365, 15 years of that, okay? And we like each other, and we get along. If there is an argument, there's no grudge. What I'm trying to say here is with a soulmate, here's what I've experienced, and I've had many of them. I had Mary. I had Mark. I had Candace. I had Ray. I didn't talk about the other 4. But they are the kind of people that you don't have to forgive for anything. You guys are tight. You come from a soul place within each other. You've lived many lifetimes together. You really like each other, and you really know how to help each other and support each other. Yes.
But now, aren't they there to teach you things, though, too? They could really kick your butt.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If anyone thinks a soulmate relationship is an easy relationship, It's only as hard as you resist it. In Guided, I talk about Mary. Mary was the first girlfriend I ever had. I was 27 years old. My mom, kept me from going near women. I mean, I didn't want any girlfriends. I didn't want any female friends. Yeah. Mary broke down my door, so to speak. She was the first soulmate I had in this life. And she came through, and she was funny. I mean, she did all the things that triggered, me lightening up and starting to enjoy my life again. She made me feel happy, And then the intensity started. Soulmate relationships are all intense. Okay.
So, Linda, was this a romantic relationship with this woman?
No.
Just friend?
No. She was a friend. I didn't see. Okay. And here's another thing about soulmates: you don't see them coming when they show up.
Okay.
And they show up. Here's another critical part: they show up at a pivotal point in your life when you're about to go through a massive change or a massive spiritual growth spurt. Your soulmate will be sent in. Now, they just didn't show up. There's no accident. It wasn't a coincidence. Right. Your guides send them in.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. It's powerful, man. It is so good.
Yeah.
So with Mary, I'll just jam through these. Okay. Mary.
Yeah.
In Mary's case, a lot of times what will happen is the soulmate that you encounter, one of the two of you will recognize the soulmate connection, but the other one won't. The other one will be busy running from you, or not. They don't want to get involved, or they don't want to hear. They don't want to really talk about that stuff, and they're trying to avoid it. They're resisting it. Okay. While the other person in the soulmate relationship is really, really intense and determined to see that this friendship solidifies. So I have to call soulmates friends. Soulmates are friends. Okay. They can be your lover, like Ray and I. But I'll tell you what, Ray and I are friends first, Marla. All right?
Oh, right.
And so when you have a friend in your life, when you have a true friend, I mean, this friend, they would give it up for you. That's your soulmate. Okay?
Yeah.
They give you. You're one with them. They love you into your core. They love all your faults. That's why they're there. They're there to help you work it out, smooth it out, and hopefully even heal it. But that's your call,
Right.
Yeah.
And
so
healing
Mary,
ourselves, right? I mean, it's a big, because a lot of people are in these relationships, but they're blaming the other person, and then they're in their reactions and knee-jerk reactions to everything. But it's self-mastery that maybe that person will, because I meet a lot of people too that are in these, especially women that are older, or maybe they have kids or whatever, and they're in relationships that they're really unhappy, but they don't feel they can leave. It could be money, it could be fear, it could be kids, and then there's bickering, but this might be there to teach them self-mastery about how to react, how to rely on themselves, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
That's a tough, you know what, Marla, that's just hard. I mean, I've been in those situations where I was married twice before Ray. I couldn't tolerate those relationships. Those were not my soulmates, by the way. A soulmate is somebody, see, when somebody's in a situation like that, they're sleeping with the enemy. There's no question about it. Yeah. That is so far from a soulmate. Here's another thing. People go, well, they used to be my soulmate. No, they didn't.
Yeah. No.
If they're not always your soulmate, if you don't always feel fond of them and cherish them and are grateful you have them in your life, even if it was just for a short time.
Okay. They were just there to teach you something, and that's it, probably, right?
Yeah, they were there to let you know what a bad decision looks like. Really? Yeah.
Right.
Because I made two of them, and I can't say they were bad decisions, Marla. They were stepping stones into finding myself and what was right for me, and to quit settling for anything less than what's really good for you, So sometimes we have to go through that. I don't know. I wish it wasn't that way, but it is that way many times. Some people connect with their soulmate right out of the gate. I'm like, wow, I see that can happen, but it doesn't happen often.
No, and there's so much struggle, and because as a matchmaker, I'm matching up people, and then they often break up 3-6 months later, and we have a big divorce rate in this country. A lot of the women will tell me, oh, I was dating a guy, and I found out he was a narcissist. And I hear a lot about narcissists. I hear a lot about, all these things.
Marla, everyone's a narcissist. Everybody. We're all a narcissist. I mean, I hear that too much. It's like, wait a minute. We all have some part of that in us. It's not playing a victim to this thing. It's saying, okay, This is how the game is played. And this is how it really works. When you bump into a soulmate, what I was talking about earlier is many times only one of the two of you will recognize it's a soulmate, okay? But eventually the other person will recognize it because the person who recognizes it won't leave you alone. Okay. For example, I'm gonna run through something real quick here. Mary. Okay. When I met Mary, my friend, my first girlfriend, her and I, man, we were on a spiritual journey together to figure this stuff out. She had just been out of her first marriage, and I was just out of my first marriage. Oh my God! And then the guides put us together. It was guidance, Marla. All this is guidance. And put us together, and we were up until 2:00 in the morning smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee. Those were my cigarette days. We just puff away and just really get enraged about what happened to us,
Right.
Of course, nothing happens to you, everything happens for you. Okay, and we really worked through some hardcore stuff. I'd say that she was my most intense soulmate ever. And then her son, Mark, comes at me about, 3 years later, and her son, okay, I was out of my my marriage and I was into my new life, and I was literally lost in the forest. I did not know how to have a relationship with anybody, Marla. I was so cautious about, what was going on with me at that time. And Mark remembered the soulmate connection we had, but I didn't. Plus, he was her son. What the hell's that? Okay, so you never know who your soulmate. And when Mark was killed, Mark got in a head-on car collision in my car with my daughter in it.
Oh, my God.
Okay? It was mind-blowing, the shift that my life took on when he died. It completely changed. It's like I had all this stuff in my hands, like you had your basket full. I dropped the basket of everything I intended to do. Everything was a repeat from the past that I didn't let go of yet. It was all the stuff that the fears I had and stuff, they were gone, Marla. Okay? That soulmate blew my mind. That's chapter 15 of Guided. That was freaking mind-blowing. And then, years later, I got out of my second marriage. Okay, I got married a second time. And when I got out of that marriage, I met someone by the name of Candace. And when I met Candace, I remembered our soulmate connection, but she didn't, because her ego was too involved. She would not. She had too many stubborn issues that wouldn't let her recognize it. And that was my new life, okay, enjoying my freedom out of my second marriage. And then I meet Ray. And Ray comes into my life at a time when my life was just fine. I didn't need any bad relationships. That's when I handed it off to my guides, and I said, listen, if I meet the right one, send me a sign. And that's how Ray came into my life.
It's beautiful. And you and Ray are just such a great couple. I know you both, and oh my gosh, it's just a great example of that great connection.
And I want to say this about that. It's the only relationship I didn't pick.
Right. Yeah.
See, that's really important. When people are out picking their relationships or chasing a relationship, I mean, really, that's fatal to start with, Marla. If it just doesn't show up in its own way, at its own timing, in its own beautiful form, sent as a gift from the universe, here it is. That is going to be a soulmate times 1,000.
So what do you think about people doing online dating and looking, and does that hold that kind of looking desperation type of thing, or what do you think?
Here's how they need to think about it. When they go out and do that, look at it as a research project. Okay, I'm going to go out, I'm going to try this, I'm going to meet these people, I'm going to see what's going on out there in the world, what the mindset is, how, what a disturbed relationship could look like if I got involved with that person, or what, you keep it at a distance. You don't let that stuff suck up your life. You don't try to make it into something. Don't make shit up.
Yeah. So go out there, accept some coffee dates, meet people. If something clicks and it's really great, but don't put too much on it. Don't expect each person walking through the door, oh, is that my soulmate, right?
Right. Yes, that's right, Marla. And here's the key. Here's how, if the people you're working with are really serious about meeting the right person and quit playing this, revolving door of relationships that explode and just all this trauma stuff going on. What they need to do every time they meet with somebody, they need to literally use it as an educational tool and use their journal. They need, I'm a nutcase for these journals. You've got to write it down. From the time I was 7 years old, the only thing that saved me from, being totally confused about everything that was going on in my life was to write in my journal. I could flush out the truth. I could see what was really going on outside of what I wanted, outside of what I was so brokenhearted about. I started to see the truth bleed through that writing. I started to see the guidance infiltrate what I was writing, Marla. All right? So it was almost like a form of channeling, like I was warping in between worlds. I was in this world and I'd warp into the other world and there'd be words and sentences and paragraphs on the page. I'd go, I don't remember writing or thinking any of that. Your guidance will come through and give you brilliant guidelines for what you're trying to figure out. But you've got to start writing in your journal. So let's say you have somebody, they go out and they go, okay, this is an experiment. Instead of me taking this online dating seriously, I'm on a mission. I'm going to be like somebody that's a reporter, reporting back to myself. And I've got to write it down. Everybody has to do that if they're trying to figure something out. This is a study project.
I love that. That is so great, because then you go back and look, and sometimes you'll think, what was I thinking? Or what, it's, yes,
that's
absolutely.
Right.
Because we don't even remember. We don't remember details. And, later, even sometimes the next day.
Nobody does. It's not that the person just is stupid. Nobody's stupid. No. We're not used to being that conscious. That's what it is.
Yeah.
We're not used to becoming still. See, when you write in your journal, you become still. You're not chasing anything. You're dredging it out, and you're taking it out of you and you're putting it on the page. Now you can see it.
Right. Yes, being conscious. It's so funny. I have a quick story about that. I was at Walmart on Sunday with my husband, and they had the cutest top with these skulls on there, and I wanted to try it on. So I'm standing there waiting to go into one of the dressing rooms, and this man just frantically barged in front. Once somebody came out of one of the dressing rooms, and then I was going to go in, he frantically charged right past me, like racing, and slammed the door and went in there. And I was like, wait a minute. Wow. And I looked at and then I said, you know what? That is not right. And I could wait. It was fine, but it was the principle of it. I walked over there and I banged on that door so hard, bam, bam, bam. And he says, I'm in here. I don't have my pants on. I said, you cut in front of me? And he goes, I don't have my pants on. And he says, I didn't see anybody there that I cut in front of. I said, that's because you're not aware. You're not conscious.
Right.
And then I left him alone. But I can see people going through life. I mean, how many times have people cut in front of me in line, or you see them not even making eye contact when you go to pay for something at a cashier, or people, we need to be more aware, more conscious. And I love that about writing in your journal, becoming still and conscious of what's going on.
Right, and the outcome from that, Marla, the byproduct that you don't even have to look for, is a connection. When you do that, when your viewers do that, they have the byproduct is a connection first to yourself, which is very loving, by the way, and then to your guides. It just goes together. You can't even stop it from happening.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, and every day you're connecting with your guides, right? You personally, I'm sure you're talking to them all the time.
I know what to do. When you're connected to your guides, it takes the beginning of this, the intro you read, it takes the struggle out, Marla. The struggle's gone.
Mm-hmm.
The struggle is nothing more than resistance. It's just resistance.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I can't believe that the show is almost over. It was such a quick talk because I do a 30-minute show, but I'm going to have you back on, and we're going to talk about your coaching and what you do and how people can connect with your guides. But tell everybody where they can find you.
The best place to go is to lindadeir.com. That's Linda, D as in David, EIR.com. And just go to my website. And the first thing to do is sign up at the very top. It says Linda's Weekly Guided Insights. Just sign up for the insights. From that, you're going to find out when I'm live on Facebook every week, how you can join me and actually have a conversation with your guides. A conversation, okay, where your guides are speaking directly to you. You know what I mean, Marla.
On those Facebook Lives, you guys, and you can ask a question, and they'll do it right there for you, Linda. And Ray, they use their communication board and channel messages, and it's just phenomenal. So, sign up for her.
And Amazon, you can find my books, Linda Deir. Just look up Linda Deir, and you'll find all my books. My flagship book is called Guided, and it won an award. It was the winner of the Body, Mind, Spirit International Book Award in 2017, and it's still a bestseller in any given category on any given day. It's still under 100.
It's fantastic. You guys go get Guided. I absolutely loved it. And on the cover is a picture of Linda's guide. She actually
is a photograph.
It appeared and she photographed it, and it's the cover. So it's fantastic. I go to my website and get your free self-love guided meditation at marlamartenson.com. And please, if you enjoy my podcast, consider leaving me a 5-star review on iTunes. It helps others find the show, and I will greatly appreciate it. And I'm sending everyone much love. Until next time, bye, everybody. Thanks, Linda. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.